Abundance and guardrails. People ask, if there's so much abundance in the world, then why do we have to work so hard, and why does it seem so competitive? You can look at it from at least a few different levels, probably quite a few, but a couple that I want to focus on here. One is that there is great abundance in the world, but there's also guardrails, which means that you have to be disciplined. Like the law of gravity, there's grace in the world, but if you jump off the building, you're still affected by gravity. So there's grace in the world, but if you act selfish, or if you act immature, or if you have negative beliefs and actions or thoughts, those are going to impact you. So there's abundance, but there's guardrails. And the way the world seems to be set up, perhaps, you can form your own formulations. I'm only giving you a couple of thoughts, not even in terms of like how everything is, but just a couple of patterns that seem to exist, such that you may have heard that expression, God helps those who help themselves. Like, I do believe in the law of attraction, and Gabby Bernstein, a lot of people, she writes, the universe has your back, that, as we give up a lot of the struggle, that things can be done for us. I think that sometimes less is more. That doesn't mean that we just sit and do nothing, but it does mean that a lot of the activity that we're used to doing is not as productive. It's kind of like the gerbil running on the wheel, and it's like they run 10 miles, but they're in the same place. So it's not so much action. Action is critical, because people that don't take action don't succeed, but it's inspired action, what Joyce Meyer calls the anointing. When you have that inspired action, then one step can be like 5 steps of regular action, or 50 steps sometimes, because sometimes our actions are not that productive. Like, have you ever just worked and felt like you weren't getting any place? And that's like uninspired action. That's just like trying to force things. You can't really force things, because there's force and counterforce, and when you do things out of force, then the counterforce of the world and other people just goes against you. It's kind of like playing basketball with a lid on the basket. You could have the greatest jump shot in the world, but if there's a lid on the basket, you're not going to score any buckets. So you have to be in a state of grace, and you have to be in a state of inspired action, and you have to be in a state of discipline, following the guardrails of life, being responsible. If you do those things, then there is tremendous abundance in life.